More than 10,000 people in New York have died from coronavirus. There have been nearly 200,000 cases in this state. But New York's governor sees promising signs. He says the worst is over for his state if people continue to socially distance. So joining us now is New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Good morning, Governor. Great to see you. How do you know the worst is over here?
Well, Allison, good to be with you. We've been watching the numbers literally every day. Number of new hospitalizations, intubations, ICU, number of deaths, unfortunately. And the big first question was, can we get control of this virus? Can we stop the spread, right? Because otherwise we would have really been in a difficult situation. When will those number of new cases stop? And we're seeing what, quote unquote, flattening of the curve, another new expression, but the increase has slowed and has stabilized. It's not great news, but it says we can control the spread. And you see that in the numbers over the past 5 or 6 days, that there's a flattening of the curve, a plateau, if you will.
That is really good news. So I know that you're talking to neighboring governors about what next, about how people could get back to some semblance of normal. But this morning, we have this model from the University of Washington that the experts have been using, that the peak doesn't hit in Connecticut, one of the neighboring states, for 12 more days. So how can you even have that conversation with Governor Lamont there?
Well, it's a good point. And look, anyone who tells you, Allison, I know what comes next doesn't even understand the question, let alone have the answer. Nobody's been here before. This is totally uncharted territory. And you're right. You have different peaks of that curve in different areas. So we're not talking about the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're talking about months. We're talking about a phased.
This is not a test. This is your biohazard warning system. Due to the new COVID-19 virus, the following measures come into effect. We are announcing the start of the immediately effective nationwide quarantine, which has been officially approved by the United States government. Commencing at the siren, leaving your own household, even for medical or everyday errands, will be a criminal offense and will be punished with state-forced quarantine and, depending on the severity of the quarantine violation, death. Visits to relatives, neighbors, or friends will be illegal during this time. No one has been granted immunity from the quarantine. No citizen or group will be exempt. All emergency services will be suspended until further notice and cannot be reached. Every household will receive a monthly data volume of 400 megabytes in order to keep the network load under control. There is currently no time limit for these measures. We hope for yourself and your family to be prepared for the worst. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.